As you probably know, the Hogwarts Legacy game is out. Kind of. I guess there's like a pre-order early release that people are using to play the game 4 days or so early, to my understanding. A lot of people are getting backlash for playing this game. However, the people giving the backlash are actually getting even more backlash for giving backlash. For example, we got Baelz here saying, at first it was an idea I came up with at 2 a.m. and it made me laugh. Now it's a skill that I vow to master. You never know when you need to pull out the spells. This is a serious stream. Oh yeah, very serious stuff. Learning all the spells, Harry Potter. Bay, I would like to gently encourage you to reconsider this stream in light of J.K. Rowling's anti-trans activism. I know it's not your intention to be political, but still. Now, as I mentioned, the people giving backlash to people for playing this game seem like they're actually getting even more backlash themselves. You can see the responses here. Some of them agree with the OP, saying that Baelz and any Hololive VTuber should not play this game. But take a look at the metrics. Most of the reception here that's getting support are the ones basically giving backlash to the person giving backlash, for lack of a better word, or lack of a better way of phrasing, I guess. I mean, take a look at this. 55 likes, get a life. Another one, 37 likes. They aren't political. You're the jerk bringing politics into this. We got a 1 out of 2. Let's read these. You are the one who is political, not Bay. Guess what? Some people will enjoy the game despite who created it in the first place. Because guess what? Again, some people simply don't care what is going on with her. Also, if you can't separate a game for fun and JK's questionable life choices, it's your problem. We don't want politics in the VTuber community, so stop bringing it up. Now, I'd like to hop over to Reddit. I'll give you the context to this in a moment. I mean, it's obviously referring to Hogwarts Legacy, but I'll give you the full context in a moment. So this top response in the Reddit thread says, buying cell phone associated with child labor, okay. Makes purchase from Amazon, okay. Buys clothes associated with child labor, okay. Buy many products associated with unethical practices, okay. Buys video game because it gives a billionaire a little more money, how dare you? That Redditor does raise an interesting point, and keep in mind that is like one of the most upvoted comments, if not the most upvoted comment in that thread. So a lot of people seem to have the same exact line of thinking here, where we've seen numerous companies exposed for terrible business practices. If we want to talk about video games, we could talk about Activision Blizzard, for example, and sexual abuse, etc., etc. Yet, if you compare the amount of people, whether it's the mainstream media, the gaming journos, and general public opinion, who told people to no longer play Activision Blizzard games because of all that bad publicity, and not just bad publicity, the literal bad things that the company did do, it's almost a negligent amount compared to the amount of people saying to not play Hogwarts Legacy because J.K. Rowling. So the consistency is a little weird there. If J.K. Rowling is bad and you should not play a game because bad J.K. Rowling, then why, like the Redditor said, is that take not also then being used in other situations as well? Like, why isn't the news, why wasn't all the gaming journalists and mainstream news coming out saying don't play World of Warcraft, don't play any Activision Blizzard game, don't support that company? To be fair, there were some takes like that, I remember. But if you compare the amount to the amount of takes like that about Hogwarts Legacy, it's almost not even comparable. I'll give you another example that you probably can relate to, and then we'll go back to that Reddit thread and I'll give you the rest of the context. Let's talk about Genshin Impact for a moment. For literally years, okay, that kind of makes it seem like it's a lot of years. Okay, for about 2 years, Genshin Impact's not that old. But for years, people said that Genshin Impact is a racist game. It's like colonizing stuff. It's appropriating culture. And again, let me remind you, they say it's racist. Yet, as I've pointed out time and time again, those people literally play Genshin Impact, and a lot of them spend money on the game. So if they want to accuse Hoyoverse of being a terrible, racist, bigoted company, why are they then supporting Hoyoverse? It doesn't make sense. And I like to draw this distinction because I've had people respond before to that point with this counterpoint, where they say, well, we're allowed to criticize things that we enjoy. And here's my response to that. Yes, you absolutely are. But that's generally applied to criticism that's like, hey, the in-game isn't very good. There's not that much content. Can you make the in-game better? Or, hey, the accessory roll rates for like crit rate and crit damage is really, really low and unfair compared to like flat strength rolls. Can you adjust the rates a little bit? Like, generally, you criticize things that are related to gameplay that the devs can improve on. You don't generally make that same sort of take when you think the company is literally a bigoted, awful company. At that point, if you really do stand by what you say and you have any sort of consistency, you really shouldn't play the game, let alone spend money on the game and support it. So let's tie this all together and then hop back over to that Reddit thread as mentioned. You got people that will call games like Genshin Impact racist and still support it. But when it comes to Hogwarts Legacy, you can't support that. So, like, why to them is J.K. Rowling and her transphobic takes worse than supporting a company that's involved in racism? We could obviously take that a lot further, too, and talk about the amount of money that Hoyoverse makes and how much of that money gets kicked upstairs to their good old chairman pals in the CCP. Now the CCP is involved in just, like, holy smokes, where do we even get started with that? Like what they're doing to the Uyghur Muslims, for example, slave labor and stuff like that. I mean, bro, where's the consistency with these issues? Why is it okay to support slave labor and racism, but not J.K. Rowling's transphobic rhetoric? Like, if both things are bad, you shouldn't support either. But there's this lack of consistency on the issue that I think is making people just not want any part in this at all. The whole thing looks really fake to the majority of people that simply just take a look at what's going on. Like, what we're talking about here is not critical thinking at all. This is just very basic thinking. It just requires basic thought to see that things just don't add up. And I also understand it's very difficult to expect someone to not give any company support that's involved in unethical practices, because so many companies out there, unfortunately, are involved in unethical practices, and it's very difficult to dodge that entirely, let alone to even know about it entirely. Probably plenty of companies, you don't even think about that. You use their products in day-to-day life. They might be involved in unethical stuff, and you just don't think about it and would never even know. Perhaps the news isn't even reported on. You just have no way of getting that information. So, again, I get it. It's very difficult to expect someone to not support any company at all that does bad stuff. Nigh impossible, you could even argue. The issue is, when we're talking about games, that so many times the gaming journalists, the mainstream news, etc., well, as we already went over, say like, oh, this company did a terrible thing, and never say, don't play their game. But when it comes to this specific game, that is the general consensus that they're trying to push. The other thing that's sad, too, is a lot of the trans people out there, at least the ones that I've met, literally just want to have a normal life. Like, go to school, go to work, go play video games, read some manga, whatever. It's a normal life. Yet often these gaming journalists, these mainstream news outlets, these Twitter cop armchair activist types will constantly use trans people as some sort of tool for their arguments. And in reality, a lot of them don't even care about trans people. They just know that it's a topic that they can use to try and get clicks and profit. So going back to this Reddit post as mentioned, where this Redditor pointed out the lack of consistency, I told you I'd give you the rest of the context, and I'll give you that now. It's from this thread titled XQC's Take on Hogwarts Drama. I'll play for you the clip.
People are gonna hate me for this taken, okay? This match will take it. People fund, okay, all sorts and types of evil with their daily purchases across the board in even way worse ways than you could even imagine, okay? And then you're trying to make everybody feel bad for purchasing a video game. Bro, you need to suck my balls, libtard Andes.
By the way, I don't know what XQC's viewer count was when that clip happened, but right now he's live with over 119,000 viewers. And I did not expect that dude to drop the LT. I don't watch XQC. I don't know if he talks like that often. The only thing I know about the guy is like a general statement is he's not a political commentator. He's like a gaming person, right? So didn't really expect him to drop the LT like that, but he did. And quick side note, this just goes, I don't know what XQC's politics are. I'm not trying to assume this. Kind of a different side note now. I've mentioned before how I live in SoCal. Most of the people I know, including my friends, are left-leaning, if not just outright leftists. And almost all of them have openly told me how much they dislike the extreme left takes that are prevalent on places like Twitter. There's another Reddit thread titled Girlfriend Reviews. Chat harasses streamer for playing the new Hogwarts Legacy game to the point where his girlfriend starts crying. Over 425,000 views on this clip. Asmongold also reacted to it. Let's see what he has to say.
Girlfriend starts crying. Okay, well, let's go ahead and watch it.
Flip up, and now it's like whatever. I'm almost like thinking of just like either going offline or like I'm barely into the second combat here, and every time I look at chat, it's just the conversation is just like
like
bothering
me.
me.
Be right back. Like a little break or something.
You can take a break if you want. I'll just stop talking and I'll just go fight and do the combat. Y'all done did it now.
Yeah, obviously she's upset about it. I mean, the thing is, like, you're always going to get people like that are on the platform, and my expectation is that there's probably a lot of people that come into the chat that are harassing them that don't even care about this issue. They just finally have a justification to be aggressive towards somebody and feel like they're not just being completely randomly assholes.
Some of the comments from that Asmongold clip. From failed boycott to straight up harassment campaign, it is no wonder why online activism is so useless and pointless. As always, Asmongold has great insight into the filth of the internet. They don't actually care, they just want a justification to be toxic. The fact that they created a bot to see which streamers have played this game or not just shows how empty the life of these people are. Asmon also just released this video, 22 minutes long, where he reacts to the news of this website that was created to stalk streamers who may have played the game.
That's built completely around harassing and blacklisting other people, but the moment that they get any sort of pushback, they make it to where nobody else can reply to them except for the people that they're following. So it's like these people, they act like, oh, well, we're gonna want to, you know, oh, well, we think people should have accountability. Oh yeah, they should be accountable for promoting a game that's like transphobic. But the moment that anybody criticizes them, they put the tweet on private. Yeah, it's an echo chamber of assholes that love spreading hate. And then the moment that anybody ever turns around and disagrees with them, they act like victims, and then they pretend like they're the ones that are being attacked. Nobody likes these people. Nobody.
Once again, that does come from a 22-minute long video. I will link the full video in the description if you want to check it out. And you may have thought it was rather funny how Asmongold said nobody likes those people. I mean, just minutes ago in this very video, I was talking about the same point. So let's be clear about this too. It seems the issue people have is really the extremism. Keep in mind, even on Reddit, most people seem to agree with what XQC and Asmon have said in their clips, as they're going around and being talked about more and more. If you don't want to play Hogwarts Legacy, it's fine. If you think supporting it supports transphobia and that's why you don't want to support it, that's also totally fine. Where all this pushback is coming from, again, is the extremism. When the Twitter cop types start policing people's tweets like Baelz and spreading their negativity to others, when they go into people's chats and harass them to the extent they made dude's girlfriend cry and get off stream. By the way, more context on that in a moment. When creepy Twitter cop armchair activists make websites dedicated to harassing and stalking streamers who have the audacity to play this game, and again apparently did no such thing to games that are involved in slave labor, racism, and sexual abuse, etc. Oh, they're totally fine with that, but how dare you support the JK game? Most people don't like the hypocrisy and the extremism. If it's your personal opinion and viewpoint to not support this game, by all means, you do your thing. But if you become an extremist, don't be surprised if the majority of people don't like your actions. So going back to this Reddit post, girlfriend reviews. Chat harasses streamer for playing the new Hogwarts Legacy game to the point where his girlfriend starts crying. This is the one that we saw Asmongold react to. The OP provides additional context, saying, they started playing the game and immediately people started calling them bigots and whatnot for playing this game. They went into sub-only chat after, but that still didn't stop as people subbed and started spamming even after pleased by her. Streamer XQC has 80k viewers watching him playing this game, and the game is at 400k viewers. Oh my gosh, dude. Can't harass them, can you, bullies? You always have to find small streamers to bully and feel good, eh? Shameless.
And please refrain from like name calling anyone in the chat or us, please. I would appreciate that.
Are you all right?
We can I'm fine. Have our opinions.
You seem to have caused
but please like express them in a kind way.
Yeah, we're doing our job right now, people. I don't really want you coming in here and telling me that you know me, telling me I'm fucking
It's fine.
doing something wrong right now by playing a video game.
I accept like disagreeing with what we're doing streaming this game. So far I'm really bored of this game. I don't find it very exciting or interesting.
There must be something to that reflection you're seeing.
So like I don't know, we haven't even like formed an opinion on it. I guess
Revelio.
we are advertising it, but it would be great if you could have your
We're not.
opinions in a
Nobody
nice
who is gonna play or not play this game is not gonna make that decision based off of us, and any money we raise and shit is gonna for sure outweigh that.
Why are they harassing him? Are they being brigaded or something? Some people are saying it's a brigade from Gaming Circle Jerk, but I am not sure. Maybe some Discord server? Their view count is not usually this high for any game. They all started coming at once and started spamming. Probably use that stream checking site, the one we talked about earlier, to jump from one stream to another. Oh yeah, here we go. See, someone on Twitter has made a website that apparently lets you check if streamers play the game, so some might come from that, and it's also a really big trending topic in general. LOL, a Twitter tool to tell people who to... Excuse me, I started laughing too much. LOL, a Twitter tool to tell people who to harass, least toxic Twitter users. Yeah, and they're the ones that think they're like the virtuous kind types, right? Like, holy smokes, dude. The self-awareness that those people have is zero. It reminds me of the stuff that my community, you guys have to go through. I see it all the time, dude. It breaks my heart. I'll see someone on Twitter tag me, be like, yo, Hero, hey, you might want to see this. And that's it. So it's a simple tweet tagging me, nothing wrong at all. And then there'll be like 20 people that quote retweet them, calling them like the worst thing ever, literally harassing them and saying like the nastiest stuff they could come up with. And then they have the audacity to turn around and accuse you guys of being like harassers and doxers when y'all never did any such thing, and they actually do it to you. It's freaking crazy. The good news is, though, that sort of extremism is starting to really backfire on those sort of people. Like, more and more people, as we've even seen in this video, are starting to just call that sort of extremism out and talk about how they don't support it, they don't like it, anything like that. So it seemed like for a couple of years there, the extremism was actually getting more and more support. And to be real, it still does have a lot of support from like gaming journalists and stuff. But the public opinion, the general consensus, it really does seem like it's shifting. And more people are starting to become aware of the extremism and the Twitter cops and the armchair activists and all that sort of thing. And they're just like, no, I don't want any part of this at all. So interesting. I suppose I'll leave it there, though, regarding this segment. If you did enjoy, please consider liking and subscribing. And I'm happy to bring you more segments like this every single day. Let me know what you think in the comments. I'll see you there and in the next one.